Okay, we need to talk about this. Ugh. So, as you can probably see from the title, this is a Pacific Rim Uprising video. Spoilers, obviously, whoever hasn't seen the video. If you haven't yet, why are you watching the video? Go and see the movie. Or don't, because it wasn't that great. But, honestly, I enjoyed it, sort of, to a degree, only because of the name. It was Pacific Rim. I like that. I mean, if you went to go see the movie, obviously you like Pacific Rim. And also, like me, if you went to go see this movie, you came away kind of disappointed. Though, for all of its faults, it did actually have some cool things. So first I'm going to go over the merits, and then I'll go over some of the things that could have improved on, some of the scenes I would have said, maybe to cut completely, some of the scenes I would have said to, redo them a little bit, and then we'll reach the final verdict from there. So first off, the merits, it was not bad as a whole. Like, the movie wasn't terrible, it was watchable at the very least. The action, at least the last part, I really liked. Well, okay, in terms of the action, Obsidian Fury's whole introduction was actually kind of good. Like, his whole introduction was kind of funny. Like, him punching Gypsy Avenger up into the building, the whole glass thing, that was nice. That was really nice. From there, the action kind of devolved a little bit. The actual action scenes were fun. I definitely watched them again if I had a chance to go see the movie a second time. Or rather, just if the clips were up on YouTube, I'd just watch those again, not the movie. But, yeah, that was good. The final part was cool, too. The kaiju was cool. The end kaiju was cool. Like, when all three of those ones merged, and that was a cool design. I liked just about all of that, except for how they killed him. How they killed him was kind of boring. And the reason why I was supposed to kill him was also really boring. Or rather, just a stretch and really dumb. Having kaiju blood, or kaiju blue, as it's referred to in the franchise, react violently to lava was just weird. Because it kind of took away the whole point of the first movie when they're just sending over monsters to destroy buildings. It's like, okay, we're destroying mankind. Sure. This time they want to stop it from reaching a volcano. And they proclaim that that was the goal the whole time, which really does detract from it doesn't line up with the last movie whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. So, okay, that was dumb. Second about the other part, you know what, I'm already getting into the bad things about the movie. I'm already getting away from the merits. The action was okay. I actually did enjoy Jake's, or John Bodega's character. Jake was alright. The rest of the characters I didn't really care about. And then I kind of liked forget her name. Whatever. You know what? She was forgettable. I kind of liked her, but not enough to remember her name. That's the only thing. Oh god, I think it was Amora. I think that's what her name was. Don't quote me on that. But, everyone else, subplots, Okay, now we get into the fun part. The bad things that I didn't like about the movie. All the good things are now aside, and we can look at all the things that I did not like. The actual plot was kind of weak. I mean, for a Pacific Rim movie, the plots aren't the biggest things, but even the last movie had some pretty well-rounded characters and incredibly stylish fight scenes. The last movie had some real weight to it. Like, you could just see every little detail, and it was glorious. This one kind of got rid of that. There was not one scene, well, this is very minor, but the scenes weren't at night. And that's really, really small. But if you remember, the scenes at night in the first Pacific Rim movie really helped that weight and gritty vibe. The whole tone was just elevated from that. But this one was just, everything was during the day. It was all kind of plain, no like real drama in it, you know what I mean? No thought process about the real drama I feel went into this movie. So that was it detracted a little bit from the whole experience. Another thing that detracted from the whole experience was Mako's death. I did not actually like that at all. A helicopter crash? Really? Could it have been something more epic? She was amazing. She was this incredible, like, figurehead, and she just died like a wuss. It's terrible. At least to have, like, I don't know, the kaiju, or no, not, Brandon, I'm having a stroke, help me.
Damn. Take a breath, fam.
Yeah, I know.
Drink some water.
I don't have any water on hand.
You have an entire jug right there.
Okay, you know what? Fine.
Yes, just drink from the fruit punch jug.
Oh, the rim tastes like fruit punch. I'm still drinking it.
You're getting off track. What were you talking about? You were talking about Mako's death. I mean, all right. So, not good death. I agree with you. All right. So, what I feel about the movie was that it was definitely still an enjoyable experience.
Okay.
If you compare it to the previous film, it definitely fell short in a lot of places. But, like, for your standard film that presents giant monsters and giant robots, it was still a pretty cool movie overall. Now, granted, like, you know, there were a few things that I also agree with Andre on that probably shouldn't have happened, such as Mako's death.
Mm.
And, you know, maybe the characters could have been a little bit less forgettable. But, you know, like... overall, it was still a fun movie, especially like what's it called?
The third act. The third act was good. I like the third act. I just don't like the reason they had to kill him.
Yeah, it was really. I mean, I don't know. Something about it trying to commit suicide in a volcano to kill all of humanity just kind of... It was a little off-putting.
I mean, those creatures have never been one for pain. If you notice, like, Tachi, like, the last movie, he got his, like, the pouch ripped out, and he's, like, for his acid, and he's just, like, roar, and he still attacks the Gypsy Danger, and he doesn't really, like, oh god, I got my throat ripped out. That was not his first reaction. But, suicide seems pretty standard for those monsters.
Well, I don't know about complete suicide. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I appreciate a little bit of what they were trying to accomplish there, try and give you that sense of urgency, but there was definitely a better way to go about it than
not.
I'm going to jump into a volcano with everything I have.
I mean, they didn't even really sell that, though, because that takes away from the first movie. Like, because the first movie had no hint of that whatsoever. It wasn't supposed to be about...
very unmentioned.
Yeah, it was just like, I mean, obviously that's not what they planned to do for the first movie. Mm-hmm. They just added that in there last second to try and up the urgency in the film. And it did not work.
Yeah, I honestly would have just preferred if he was just kind of, you know, tearing cities up, and then they were urgent because, you know, they didn't have any other defenses set up, and all their mechs are like, you know, all of their... What are they called again?
Jaegers.
Yeah, Jaegers, thank you. All of their Jaegers were, like, you know, out of commission. Which already is kind of a sense of emergency. You just have these, like, 3 guys running rampant. You got literally almost nothing left to defend against it. I would have thought that was urgent enough. I would
too. They should have kept it simple, because they tried to do all these weird things. Like, okay, A, Mako's death was weak sauce. B, I didn't think anyone was going to die in the movie. Like, I mean, because remember the last one where you have, like, the first scene, and Gypsy Danger is in danger, fighting Knifehead in the beginning, mm-hmm. and the guy's pilot, or the guy's co-pilot gets ripped out of the top, and I'm like, oh my god, it looked good, it felt horrible, and you're like, Jesus, they could actually die doing this. These robots are pretty strong, but that guy just died. So, there was no sense of urgency to the whole movie. I knew Jake wasn't gonna die. I knew Amora wasn't gonna die. I didn't care about the other people. I was like, who are you?
Yeah, in general, actually, like, the beginning to the first Pacific Rim movie was actually a lot stronger than the second one as well.
The whole movie was strong.
I kind of like, at least for particularly the first part where we have our main character kind of like, you know, stealing stuff or whatever. I guess it does a little bit of world building and introduces our character, but, like, first of all, his character wasn't even, like, you know, built up as the greatest thing either.
Right.
And that whole beginning part of the movie with the little girl, like, I don't know, who is that little girl?
I don't know, she spent, like, the last 15 years of her life building a Jaeger, which, plausibly, you could do, but again, 15 years of your life.
I don't know. Just that entire part just didn't sit well with me. It was a little bit a lot more on the boring side.
Yeah, I mean, but because all they do for your introduction is give you, for your world building, all they do is give you that little bit of narration,
mm-hmm.
and it's just a little exposition, and I'm like, cool, but you don't see any more of the world building after that. Not to mention, you don't see any real character building after that either. You got the attempt with that one, I don't know, plot device, or not even, just side character, who was supposed to be, I don't know, Jake and the other guy and his co-pilot, I guess, were fighting over her, like on a really small level, but it was like a subplot. It didn't matter whatsoever.
Well,
So that was.
I keep forgot about what you're talking about. Look, I'm not against having just little things in there, but they had a lot of nothing going on there in general, and that was a lot of time in like cumulatively. There was probably a lot more time they could have spent on the actual fight scenes and such, which were cool but could have been better.
Yes.
With the time that they had decided to use elsewhere.
Yeah. Not to mention, Jake's whole thing in the trailer and like the whole spiel was supposed to be that he wasn't his father, but 10 minutes in, I'm like, he goes right back to the academy. I'm just like, okay, he's gonna pilot again, cool. But where was that?
By the end of the movie, he's just like, you know what, Mako died. What's it called?
He didn't even care when Mako died. I was so upset. I was like, wait a minute.
He cared,
but next scene, he's like standing next to the girl, like, oh yeah, my sister's dead. Moving on with the movie.
And then after that, it was just kind of like, I am my father now, just at the end of the movie, just give an inspirational speech, even though he's, not supposed to be, this is kind of one of those things where it's just kind of like, what, I get people change and stuff, but like, I kind of want to see him change, not just, one side, one moment he's just kind of like, I don't really want to be here, like, at all, ever. And now that he's just like, let's fight for the world. It's just kind of like, I would have liked to see his thought process a little bit more.
So would I have.
But, it is what it is.
All in all, it wasn't horrible. Like, if I had the opportunity, I would, like I said before, watch the scenes of the fights again. Like, I would watch those again. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not like the most amazing things. I could probably get more entertainment out of watching, like, Kong beat the crap out of a Skullcrawler, or Godzilla beat the crap out of a Muto, or even, I don't know, some Autobot destroy a Decepticon or something.
All right, that's a little bit of a stretch. That's a little bit
of a stretch. But they were comparing it to Transformers. Before it came out, people were like, this is what Transformers should have been, and I was like, that's not a good sign.
Well, I mean, the Jaegers were still cool.
Jaegers were still cool. Cooler than Transformers.
Yeah, definitely. What's it called?
Though the action scenes in Transformers are actually kind of wild. Good.
Well, I don't really take the time out of my day to watch them, and I think it's.
I enjoy the name. I just enjoy Pacific Rim more, especially the first one.
Yeah, the first one has a really good impression on fans and such.
The first one was like, woo, kaiju.
But I'm not gonna stand here and just bash the movie the whole time, because I actually genuinely did like the movie. Out of the time that from the day that I did go watch it, it was probably the best movie of the night. Which,
Well, compared to what?
There was a few movies. One of them was like, I don't remember the movies in particular, but one of them was really disappointment. Was A Wrinkle in.
A Wrinkle in Time. I actually didn't see that, but my brother and mother saw it, and they were like,
Yeah, it was very disappointing. Like, I know that the whole idea for that one was being all wondrous, but obviously it did. I don't know. It didn't quite sell it for me. Now, before I start, talking about that movie, since we're talking about
we're talking about it was still supposed to be on Pacific Rim.
Yeah, but so out of all the movies that I've seen, A Wrinkle in Time being one of them, two other horror thriller movies that have absolutely I don't know, really typical kind of things. I was just not impressed by those movies. Pacific Rim was definitely the highlight of that day. Okay,
well, I mean, I guess that boosts your opinion of the movie by far, just because you have you just had bad experience that just brought you up a little bit more.
Oh no, yeah, it's probably true, but it was still an enjoyable experience.
Okay,
right? Okay, that's what I will say. For people who just kind of want to see the movie,
okay,
it's justified to do so.
Oh yes,
it's not. It probably wasn't as good as the first one in many people's eyes, because remember, you are a huge fan of it, and you just kind of know every single good point. So the average moviegoer, they're probably not going to nitpick as much. So if they were just trying to, if you were just trying to go in for like a good movie, then I would say watch
if
Pacific
you're average
Rim 2.
moviegoers, get out of this channel. Leave. What are you doing here?
Hey, you can't just alienate people. You gotta get the views. You see, that's like turning away 30% of your audience.
I can't hold it. I can't hold that straight face. But yeah, it was watchable. Watchable. If you are a huge fan of Pacific Rim, it was watchable but not worthy. That's all I have to say about that. Like, there are some good parts that I kind of enjoy. Some bad parts. Well, some bad parts. And overall, I'd say it's worth a watch if you really like the franchise. But if you do not like the franchise and you don't like giant monster movies in general, don't watch this. If you want to like them, go watch the first one. That's pretty much it. I'd give it, like, if we're comparing it to the original, I give it a 4 out of 10.
All right, compared to the original,
Yeah.
like I would still say it's a very valid movie to watch if you're just kind of like,
If you're bored, watch it.
yeah, like it's not a terrible movie.
No. No, it's not.
It's not as bad as
It's a turn your brain off movie, though.
Yeah. Then again, at the same time, it's like, monster movies aren't supposed to be all that complex.
Shut up. There are a few good ones out there.
All right, but note the keyword few.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
keyword few.
You're only a few.
A lot of monster movies, if you're just in it for the, just watching things blow up and stuff, this will fulfill that.
Yeah, there are a couple really nicely done, not really convoluted, but like interesting monster movies out there. But Brandon's right. Like, most of the time, the Godzilla basically spawned all the explosions. Godzilla was like the Michael Bay of monsters. Like, he just destroyed stuff, and people were like, "Oh, we should do more of that. Let's make more of that.
Make more things blow up.
More explosions." And then here we are, 65 years later.
Yeah, I don't think you want Michael Bay getting his hands on Godzilla, though. I think you might want to avoid that one.
I mean, he already killed Transformers. We don't want him killing. We don't want him killing Godzilla. Definitely not. And if they ever, well, actually, they might entrust Godzilla to him. Now that I think about it, they entrusted. I forget the guy's name. The director of the Pacific Rim, Uprising. I forget his name, but he. All right, no disrespect, but he didn't. This is his first feature film. I don't think they should have trusted him with that. Mm-hmm. And he has talent, obviously. I heard he did Daredevil, which is a Netflix series, which I thought was good. But I didn't think that, entrusting somebody just came up with an already established name is probably not the best decision.
My question is, why didn't the what was the producer that you were talking about?
No, he's the director.
Well, the director. Well, why didn't the director for the first movie do the second one?
Guillermo del Toro was working on other stuff. He was doing The Shape of Water at the time.
Ah, okay, I see.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
Do you think it would have been in their best interest to kind of hold out on that? Or?
Oh yes, dude. He basically took the first movie and made it into the experience that it was.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, sticking on topic with the whole Pacific Rim, yeah. So we kind of talked about how we felt about the movie in general. Now, obviously, if you stuck around to the end, spoiler alert.
I mean, I already did that.
Well, you see, I have to say it because I'm about to say something. All right.
Do you really have to say it though?
Well, you know what? Let me just say it. I'm gonna move on.
Go ahead.
They did leave open the possibility for another movie in which they state they want to attack the aliens in their to end it once and for all.
You know what? I don't want to see it.
You don't want it to happen?
No, think about this. Okay, so Guillermo del Toro is the guy who made the whole precursor world thing look cool, right?
Yes.
Now take him out of the equation, and now what do you get for an alien world? I don't know. I'm just saying it probably won't look as good.
I mean, yeah. Now, so you think that it's probably better off not happening? Is that what you're saying? I
would say if it does happen, get someone like Guillermo del Toro or, I don't know, Gareth Edwards or something like that in there. Okay. Someone who has directed a modern-day monster movie. Modern-day kaiju movie. Get them in there Have them do their thing. Have it just look, or at least try and mimic the old designs of what it does, or add something new but that looks artistically pleasing.
So, I personally, I don't know what to feel about it. I enjoyed both movies. If there were a third one to come out, I probably would just try and watch it, depending on what I heard, because that stuff matters. So,
I mean, if China accepts this movie, then we're getting a third one.
so yeah, if it does come out, I'd probably check it out anyway. So you know what, that makes for another part to your little our little talk over here.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Another thing to rant about.
I'm not gonna rant too much long. Look, we're already at like 21 minutes, man.
Oh well, that's 21 minutes of our lives.
We'll never get those back.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure the viewers, if they stuck around this much, they enjoyed it.
If you stuck around this long, good job. First of all, I know Brandon is extremely boring. I know, right? But I saw you look in the mirror.
DeAndre, I'm holding myself back.
I know.
I respect that this is your channel. I don't want to hear this. All right.
I'm sorry.
This is perfectly good footage right here. I don't want to ruin it. All right. Don't do this.
Don't ruin it with my blood. Anyway, yes. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you very much for coming over and talking to the people about someone's new favorite movie.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I definitely enjoyed this little talk.
Yeah, and so did I. So, all right. I'm shutting you guys off. Bye. Nice.
See, that made it a lot. That was pretty fun.
That was good. I'll probably end up doing like just random more of these. Like I'll talk about like Alien, Covenant.
Yo, this is a good idea. You should have. I'm assuming you're probably going to edit the video a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
We have a few funny moments in there that are just kind of like.
No, it's just like.
So you could have an unedited version, just the full thing afterwards, and then you could have an edited version before. Yeah. So you could put unedited, like edited, cut out some of the weird in between moments, or you could just put the whole thing up.
It depends.
Bloopers and all.
Yeah, bloopers. I'll put bloopers later.
It tastes like fruit punch.
It tastes like fruit punch.
Brandon, I'm having a stroke.
Those are funny moments, though. Having a stroke. Like, the rim tastes like fruit punch. The Pacific Rim tasted like fruit punch.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna just add that really quick. Oh, wait, no. That was already... It was still going!
Wait, what? You're lying!